Hey guys and girls, welcome to episode 13 of 31 Days of the Dark Web. In this episode, I'm going to be speaking to you guys in more of a conversational kind of tone. However, the dark web is something I'm extremely familiar with, and I'm extremely familiar with the kind of content that you can view on there. Let me start off by saying anybody who attempts to access the dark web and access maybe not non-legal sites, I'd highly advise you to first of all get what's known as a VPN, which is a virtual private network. This allows you to mask your IP address. Secondly, I would ask you to do a DNS leak test. Type in DNS leak test into Google to make sure your VPN works. Next step, I'd recommend changing your MAC address, better known as MAC address. This is for both Windows and non-Windows computers, by the way. I would then recommend changing your geo coordinates if you know how, as well as changing your proxy. Also manually configuring your IP address to change it to a location that hides your true IP address. Then, and only then, would I advise accessing the dark web. And when I say accessing it, I mean exploring it. For those of you interested, I will take some screenshots and post them in the video right now as I'm talking, showing you any markets, as they're known on the dark web, which are extremely notorious. Those being Dream Market, Wall Street Market, Empire Market, Point/Tochka Market, and a few others. Hansa Market was extremely popular until it was shut down. Also Valhalla Market, however I would not advise that one. Out of all of these markets, I'd recommend Dream Market or Empire Market, as they appear to be the safest. Ones that I'm not too sure about would be Point/Tochka Market, as there are a lot of scammers on there. For those of you unaware of what goes on the dark web, I'm about to tell you. It ranges, and I mentioned this in one of my earlier episodes, but it ranges from all different kinds of drugs for reasons that should be obvious. Due to the platform that I'm uploading this video to, I'm not going to show pictures of the types of content that's available on the dark web. I will show you the names of the markets, and I will leave you the links. Bear in mind, these dark web links can only be usable using the Tor browser or the I2P browser. So if you try and use the links in the description below that end in .onion on Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or Opera or Firefox or Safari, it won't work, so be warned. But I will leave a list on the screen now of what types of things are available on the dark web, where to go to get them, and now payment methods. So on the dark web, it's highly advised to buy your bitcoins with your own money, use a mixing service or a tumbling bitcoin washing cleaning service, whatever you want to call it, to jumble your coins, delay your transactions, and mix your transaction in with thousands of others to make your Bitcoin mixing and to make your Bitcoin transactions virtually untraceable. And if you're going to go on the dark web, you're going to want to cover your tracks. So Bitcoin is the most commonly used currency on the dark web. I will leave a mixing site where you can send bitcoins from the clearnet to the dark web safely. The second most commonly used coin is Bitcoin Cash, child coin of Bitcoin, if you will. And then it would have to be Monero. Monero is known for its anonymity. Then it would have to be Litecoin. Litecoin is fast, it's simple, and its transaction times are significantly less than Bitcoin. So that's a little bit about the currency used on the dark web. There's a whole range of activities that people participate in on there. The more common and the known ones are to do with illegal substances, weapons, stolen information like people's address, debit card information, credit card information, people's ID information, fake IDs, fake utility bills, even fake credit score reports. There's also the darker side of the dark web, hence its name, the dark web, and that's probably red rooms. Red rooms are a place where you pay a fee in Bitcoin to a certain Bitcoin address, which then gives you permission to enter the red room. The red room consists of one person, usually behind the camera or maybe in front of the camera, and then the main person, who is usually being deliberately injured for the entertainment of the viewers. This is what makes it a red room, and anybody watching is able to decide what happens to that person, whether they are injured, killed, slowly tortured, whatever. Whoever is in the red room and pays to have things done to that person, they're in control. So whoever is in the red room pays the fee to get into the red. Think of it like a chat room that you have to pay to get into, and once you're in there, you control what happens to the person you're looking at. Usually it's not good, it's bad things that will happen to that person. That's a red room. So I think I've briefly touched on what the dark web and the deep web is. Lastly, before I conclude this episode, I'd like to clear up something. For those of you wondering, why is this one of your episodes on 31 Days of Hell? Here's why. You have the deep web. The deep web is information. The deep web is WikiLeaks. The deep web is journalists who are in countries with heavy censorship laws, like Russia or North Korea, and maybe other Asian countries, and they access the deep web to do safe, untraceable research, which can't be traced back to them. Hacking, that can be the crossroad in between the deep web, which is information, and the dark web, which is crime. So hacking's in the middle there. But information leaks, data leaks. That's the deep web. It becomes the dark web when it becomes illegal. That's why it's called the dark web. You know, drugs, weapons, financial crime, murder, Hitmen-For-Hire services, things like that. That's what makes it dark. That's what makes it the dark web. So when someone says to you the deep web and they talk about crime, you can say to them, no, that's not the deep web, that's the dark web. And I think that's going to conclude episode 13 of 31 Days of Hell.